I'm a bona fide foodie, and I think Korea has made me so.
You know what they say if you pour your own beer, right? You'll never get married,
Oh,
and the person that you're facing will have bad sex for 7 years.
Oh my God, that's like filet mignon and pork.
She was born in the outskirts of Seoul to an American GI and a young Korean woman. He was born in Alsace, France, land of pork and cabbage. She was put up for adoption at 3 and then lovingly raised in Virginia by her new family. He was 16 when he began his apprenticeship. She found her birth mother when she was 19. He came to America and became one of the world's greatest chefs. They fell in love and married over a decade ago. Now, Jean-Georges and Marja return to her birthplace to chronicle the tastes and traditions of Korea. These are the Kimchi Chronicles.
Korean cuisine isn't shy. It's all about full-flavored, in-your-face food. And what's particularly amazing is that underneath its unabashed personality, Korean cooking is actually remarkably healthy and very low in fat. Full of vegetables and whole grains, accented with fish, seafood, and bits of flavorful meat, Korean cooking plays by its own rules. Cold soups are devoured in winter, boiling ones in the summer. Fiery cabbage kimchi is eaten at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And generous amounts of red pepper paste are rubbed onto and mixed into just about everything. Pork is the meat of choice, and interestingly, Koreans consider the fattiest cuts the most healthful, not to mention the tastiest. Who am I to argue with a healthy diet that encourages and celebrates eating samgyeopsal, pork belly, marked by layers of silky fat? The more, the better. And it doesn't just stop there. Pork bones are boiled into milky stalks under the backbone, no pun intended, for hearty breakfast stews. Cuts like shoulder get thin sliced, scored, and bathed in a spicy pepper marinade. Then it gets grilled and tucked into lettuce leaves, eaten in just one bite. For a day of pure porcine pleasure, I met up with Daniel Gray, VP of Ongo Foods and the voice behind the popular blog, Seoul Eats. The plan was, eat our way up the pork chain. We started our day at Songgane Kamjatang restaurant, where the cab drivers begin theirs, with a bowl of inexpensive and satisfying pork back bone soup served with a side of rice. Sorta Korea's answer to bacon and eggs. For a real lumberjack breakfast, add on an order of bosam to munch on while the soup cooks. It comes complete with slices of pork belly, kimchi, and a full plate of fresh, plump oysters, and all the familiar trappings and wrappings. Daniel and I put down a few psalms, and I was well on my way to being full. But, like always with me, seeing the soup simmering away gave my appetite a second wind.
My rule is, if you go where the taxi drivers see you, because they have access to drive all around the city. They know where the best restaurants are.
Right.
And usually they're not going to go for spaghetti or a hamburger or anything like that. They're usually just going to have regular Korean food.
Right.
So if you see a lot of taxis parked outside of a restaurant,
That's a good place.
That's a good place. This is considered a poor person's meal for a long time. It's very common.
That's always the best food, I find.
No, they've already cooked the broth for a long time. We're just trying to get the vegetables to kind of cook a little bit. When hot chili peppers first came to Korea, it was for the commoners. It was for the very poor people to eat spicy food. And now everyone eats it.
Right, right, right. Well, you know what? I think it's the soul food of Korea.
The secret to this soup is to boil the bones for a long time until you have a very, very rich broth.
Right. How much would a breakfast like this cost a cab driver?
About $6.
That's pretty cheap.
With the rice and all the side dishes,
Yeah.
And usually at these taxi driver places, because taxi drivers work a lot,
Right.
if you eat all your rice, I'll just give you an extra one for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're very understanding.
And generous.
Yeah, and generous.
Wow. I'm really excited to try this soup, but I want to see what these guys behind us think. How'd you see? 맛있어요?
맛있어요.
Oh, but it's very good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost done.
네. 어제 술 마셨어요? 네. 네? After
so they
you
had
drink?
a lot to drink, huh?
Yes.
Last night.
Last night.
Is this ready now?
You have to check if the potatoes are done, but the soup is. Give
Well,
the soup a try.
let's go ahead and taste the soup. I can't wait. Ah, that's the taste.
Yeah, if you're like kind of woozy from the night before, that'll wake you up, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's spicy and you can really taste that perilla seed in there.
Oh, do you see that little tiny things here?
Yeah, yeah.
Little tiny darker,
Dark things. Yeah,
dark,
yeah, yeah.
like freckles?
Yeah.
They're the wild sesame seed. So they also have a very different taste than the regular sesame seed.
Right. Oh, meat and bone. Thank you. You know, there's something so fun in picking apart bones to find the meat. It's like eating crab.
Yeah.
You know, there's a joy in your labor. Oh, there's a lot of meat in there.
Yeah, most people will just chopsticks.
It is actually easier with the chopsticks,
Yeah.
I think. You have little crevices you have to get into. That's another thing. And this soup thickens up over time as it's sitting here. You know, I make my haejanguk with yellow Yukon potatoes.
I like to wait to eat the potatoes last, because then they're almost like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, I love that.
Like a
Smart.
pork-infused mashed potato.
I feel bad you didn't get a sesame leaf. There you go. I have 2 in here.
You're really Korean. Koreans always share stuff.
I know. That's how we share our love.
Totally.
You know, I have to say, every time I come to Korea, it's always a lesson for me because I go to different places and everybody does things differently. You know, there's a recipe here that could be different from across the street. You know, I pick up little tips and I tweak it when I go back home and I buy ingredients while I'm here. So it's just a joy. I think, yeah, I'm a foodie. I'm a bona fide foodie.
Right on.
And I think Korea has made me so.
In Korea, barbecued pork is the most common and affordable way to eat pork. Thin slices, often cut from the shoulder, left to sit in spicy red pepper, are grilled do-it-yourself style, which makes it that much more delicious. At Dongmakjip restaurant, Daniel and I once again sampled that ingenious Korean combo of grilled spicy pork wrapped in refreshing lettuce leaves.
So we're going to continue your foodie education here. What I like about this place is that there's more meat,
Right.
not as much fat.
Right.
And the way that they score it gets all the
Marinate
juices.
inside,
Exactly.
yeah. And this is Korean pork.
This is Korean pork.
Yes. And my aunt was telling me that each restaurant has to specify whether they're serving American meat or Korean meat.
Yes.
They have to display it on their sign outside,
Well,
otherwise they get fined.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
They Koreans they like everything local. You know?
Right.
They believe that Korean beef tastes better, Korean
Right.
pork tastes better, and sometimes I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally a believer of, you know, getting food from the source.
Right.
It always tastes better.
Yeah, it doesn't have to travel so far.
This is a huge cut of meat. How do you eat this?
Well, we're gonna grill it up. You gotta get a
Right.
nice sear on it.
yeah.
See how it's getting nice and brown there?
Yeah. Koreans, they don't like it too charred.
No.
And are you of the same thinking? I
don't
mean, you
know.
grew
I
up
like
in
a little-
America, too.
I like a little brown on it.
Yeah, me too. Just a little.
Yeah, you know, a little char is good for
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it
You
gets-
get a nice caramel kind of
Yeah, it's
flavor to it.
caramelizing.
The funny thing is, like, Americans come in and think that this is like the meal, right?
Right.
But this is just the appetizer. All the side dishes, the rice and the soup, that's your meal. And that's what comes
Ah,
afterwards.
okay.
So most people fill up on the meat, lots and
Right.
lots of meat, and then then the rice and the soup comes out, and people are like, I can't eat that.
Right. Whenever I do Korean barbecue, I always serve it with rice. My family likes to eat their barbecue in a wrap with rice and the samjang. Would it be sacrilegious to ask for some rice?
No, if you ask for rice, they'll give you soup.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So one doesn't happen without the other.
Right.
Oh my God, the caramelization is amazing. Oh, there she goes cutting off the charred bit.
아니야, 괜찮아.
괜찮아요.
되게 외국 사람 좋아요.
She's gonna do whatever she wants to do.
She cares about us. That's why she's
Right.
doing it.
I just love Korean people. They show such a concern for your
Yeah, for your
well-being,
health.
yeah,
Yes.
and health.
So this is like round one. You know,
Uh-huh.
you go have your barbecue, and then you go
Right.
to one of these bars, and then if you go a little bit further down into Hongdae, you have all the nightclubs and the dance clubs and stuff.
Oh, nice. Well, I love Korean barbecue after a night out.
I think that's
That's for you. That's calling your name.
All right. Look at the char on that. Thank
Would
you
you
so
like
much.
some lettuce?
I would.
Red leaf lettuce. I find red leaf lettuce to be the perfect lettuce to eat wraps in. I know it's traditional in Korea, but you know, even when I'm eating it at home, I always make sure to get red leaf lettuce.
Yeah, it smells so good. You can really smell the sauce here.
Yeah, it's scorching hot.
Yeah.
Let's put a little bit of this. I do like this buchu. It's nice, the Chinese chives. So is beer a common drink to have with Korean barbecue?
Yes, these days it's very common.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a party drink, you know?
So good. Look at that, she's moved all the meat so we don't get any more caramelization. And I've also seen in Korean restaurants when you're cooking meat on the grill, they'll put a piece of lettuce and the done pieces will just sit on there so they retain the heat but don't char anymore.
Exactly. Well, you know that meat off the grill, keep cooking for a couple more minutes. You know what they say if you pour your own beer, right?
You're lonely and you have no friends?
Yes, well, yes. You'll never get married.
Oh,
and
man.
the person that you're facing will have bad sex for 7 years. I'm not facing you though, I'm facing that guy over there.
that's
I don't
true.
know who he is, but I'm sorry about that.
Cheers. So today, babe, we're talking about pork. Pork is a very, very popular meat in Korea. They use it in a lot of things.
I was very impressed when we went to Korea about the fat layers, the fat content in the pork there.
Right.
And I was raised on pork too, you know, in Alsace. I'm a pork raised guy. What is this kind of?
This is pork neck bones. So you boil this down. It's going to make a great milky base for this stew. What are you working with?
I'm working on a spicy stir-fry pork. So I'm using pork loin, you know, like thinly sliced, as you can see. So
That's
I
beautiful.
put that in a bowl. We're gonna marinate it with a tablespoon of sugar. We're gonna put a tablespoon of
Red
chili
pepper
flakes.
powder.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a couple spoon of the chili paste. I'm adding some choju,
Soju.
a couple tablespoons. There we go. Some soy sauce. We're gonna get a nice caramelization. Scallion, garlic, a little bit of ginger, tiny touch of onion. Can be probably marinated for like half an hour.
Okay,
Just
great.
gonna mix it
Yeah,
up.
that's a quick one.
Mix it up nicely.
Super easy.
You see the spicy enough?
I
Looks
think
like it,
that's
huh?
going to have some heat.
Nice heat.
Yeah, it should be nice. All right, so it's going to marinate. And me, I'm going to take, this is a traditional Korean clay pot.
It's beautiful.
And it's called an ongi.
Are you gonna do a soup or a stew?
It's a stew. It's a stew. So I have to put the pork in here.
Yes.
So this is like a set it and forget it type of stew, at least for 5 hours. I get these in the Korean supermarket
I see.
quite easily. So
Great.
I'm just going
Water?
to cover this with water. This pot gives it flavor. And then we'll set it on high. Babe, I know you love your induction. I love it too. But for this particular dish, you really need the heat. So
You need the gas.
yeah, we're going to have to sacrifice today. You can cover it and then let it go.
So should I do my stir fry? Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm a little hungry.
So a little bit of oil in a pan. I'm adding the meat. Has to be really
Caramelized.
caramelized, yeah. So you wanna.
Yeah.
So I'm using pork loin here, but if you want to use
pork belly.
pork
or-
belly, or you can use shoulder or butt.
Right,
But you have to
right.
tenderize it a little bit. I'm gonna add some vegetable as well in there.
Okay. Show
I'm
me
adding
your red-
shiitake, red chili, finger chilies, carrots, and sugar
Isn't that
snap
going to be spicy?
A little bit, not too much. The pork is so thin and it cooks in no time. So it's all ready to go.
Hey, looks beautiful.
Nicely glazed.
Nice. Babe, I got you some rice.
That's so nice. So you serve this
Okay.
dish on rice usually, huh?
Yeah, or with rice for sure. Delicious. I wonder if it's as spicy as it smells.
I think it's pretty spicy.
You think so?
Should we try it?
Yeah, let's try it.
Pretty tasty, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Really
Chili
good.
paste, chili flakes. You can taste everything.
Really, really good.
See the rice absorbs all the sauce and everything. Very, very nice.
I'm gonna impress you with mine. So, would you do me a favor and get that pork soup off the fire? It's been going for a few
put it
hours.
right here?
All right, so I need to take that off, and I'm gonna throw in the other ingredients.
Whoa.
Ooh,
It's completely
you see
white.
that color?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be white
That's
like
from the
this.
bone, huh?
That's from the bone. Okay, so now it's ready for some potato. I have like I'm gonna put about 4 medium to small potatoes in there, and they need to be waxy potatoes. So we're gonna put in the onion, roughly chopped. This is 1 large onion.
And then my mother of all pastes, red pepper flakes, and then red pepper paste and soy sauce, fish sauce, and some garlic is in here. About 2 tablespoons of doenjang, and this is Korean fermented bean paste, and it really adds a nice base.
A little coarser.
Yes, more texture, more flavor.
That's Korean food?
So in here I have perilla seeds and sesame seeds.
Let me see that.
So I just want to give that a rough kind of, they don't need to be completely brown, but just to open up the fragrance, and hopefully you keep them all in the bowl. Okay, so put that on top. That's just gonna cook in. That really gives it the flavor. This is the perilla leaf.
Yeah.
And the seeds I showed you earlier from this plant. This is about 25 perilla leaves that I've just done like a rough julienne of. So then we have to set that on to boil until the potatoes are cooked through. Right on and then back on the heat, please.
Great.
Be careful. Well, that's gonna take about another 20-25 minutes to cook through.
Can't wait.
But I know that you're an impatient man.
Always.
So I've prepared one already.
Yeah, boiling.
Ooh.
Wow, look at this.
Now you add the scallion just for a little garnish at the end.
That is amazing. The meat is falling apart.
It really is.
Beautiful.
Look at the potato.
Very good. Nicely cooked. Wow.
It's scalding hot, isn't it? So, you know Korean food is served like lava temperature, but it's the best, I think. Yeah.
So good. I love stews like this. Spices and the balance is perfect.
That's good. The most widely consumed and enjoyed cut of pork in Korea is samgyeopsal, what we call pork belly. At Hukdong-ga restaurant, they exclusively serve the famous black pig from Jeju Island, known for its incredible flavor and bountiful fat. Joining Daniel and me for this high-end pork fest was my friend, the very hot actress Heather Graham, whose attendance promised to be interesting. Heather loves her veg, but we had brought her to one of Korea's most famous pork havens.
요게 삼겹살이고 이거 목살, 요게 이제 생부위로 나가는 거라 먹어보시면 맛있습니다.
That's a pig skin.
Pig skin. He's saying it's very, very good for your.
part? This part right
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
Pig skin, yeah.
He's saying that it's very good for your skin. And like
Hey,
a lot.
we're all about the skin.
And right now, if you go to like the cosmetic stores and stuff like that.
콜라겐.
Collagen. Okay, so this is the stuff that's in there.
No
Yeah.
way. That's what collagen's made out
Yeah.
of, is pig skin?
Yeah, so samgyeopsal is 3 layers of pork. Tam means 3, gyeop means meat, and sal means fat. So 3 layers of fat.
3 layers of fat.
It's very, the names are very literal.
Yes.
So in Korea, it's typical that you have the kokdaegi on the samgyeopsal.
Yes.
The kokdaegi meaning skin.
Skin, yeah.
Right.
But this sucks up all that in
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
So that the restaurant isn't filled with smoke?
Yeah.
So that you're not filled with smoke.
Well, yeah,
Because I've been
exactly.
to a couple Korean restaurants in New York where you walk out smelling like barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing about this is like, wow, just look at this. Look at
Oh, look at the color on there.
This is really, really good charcoal. Just searing up right away. The thing about the pork is that you're supposed to have the marbling of the fat. So the meat's supposed to be tender and the fat's supposed to be liquid state, you know? So it's really good.
Ooh, look at the skin puffing
Yeah.
up.
Oh, sometimes they'll kind of pop.
Pop out?
Yeah. There are little pockets of air that'll build up underneath and they'll just kind of explode.
Oh my gosh.
How do you know when it's done?
You won't have any pink in it.
You have to get the right moment, right? Before it gets too cooked? Like,
Well, I mean, there's so much fat in it that
it doesn't matter, you
it
can't
doesn't really
overcook
matter.
it. See, I love how you use scissors. So easy to
That's what I'm saying.
It's very ingenious, you know? It's,
I use it. I use kitchen scissors all the time. Cut up my daughter's pizza. Okay, I'm going in for the skin.
If you wait longer, it's almost gonna be like a pork rind.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you.
does it.
That's like a
little chewy.
potato chip kind of in taste.
Yeah.
So you wait to eat it until it gets really brown? Like
Yeah,
really...
that's like the perfect piece of samgyeopsal. When you have like you have the crisp, you have the soft, you have the savory. You've got Korean food is all about balance, and that's why like we have all the leaves here.
Right. Oh my gosh. Have you ever tried this?
Yeah.
This is a sesame leaf. It's got a really amazing kind of I usually like to do a leaf and then the sesame leaf in the middle.
Thank you.
The belly is the most expensive
Really?
thing. In the States, I think bacon's, like considered a cheaper cutting.
yeah.
Well, here it's considered very expensive.
So this is how I like to wrap mine.
What is that? Is that really spicy?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
It would be the equivalent of what you'd probably know as miso. Yeah, samjang, which is gochujang and doenjang mixed together.
Usually with some garlic.
A little bit of that, okay. And then just fold it like a taco.
And would you dip it in any of these two?
Oh, I didn't even try that
see,
sauce.
I was
I'll do
gonna
that on my neck. Okay,
yeah.
you do that one.
Okay, I'm gonna do this one.
There is no perfect way to eat Korean food. Yeah, you gotta eat the whole thing at one time.
It's like, oh, it's so flavorful.
It's a barbecue-y flavor.
고기만 드셔도 되고요. 쌈
Now try the meat.
So, yeah, he wants you to just try.
Look at that saucy goodness.
Isn't that great?
너무 맛있어요. I mean, who would ever think anchovy with
Surf and turf.
right?
Oh, look at this one.
That's gorgeous. You go. I flip that for you.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Just gonna put this one in the
You
sauce.
have to. You have to. It's. Oh, that is a new flavor. I just absolutely love it. Yeah, 감사합니다.
This is, oh, they didn't even mashed it up. Tiny little shrimp. They're a little bit salty and really good with the pork. The enzymes in the shrimp are supposed to help you digest the pork.
Heather was clearly enjoying the meal, drinking and eating pork like a true Korean, even dipping the meat into the restaurant's special anchovy dip that all the Hukdanga regulars describe as addictive. Then a second course, this time pork shoulder from Jeju Island. So this is the shoulder, you said, right? And it's less fatty. But I tried some of the shoulder. You'd think it would be a little tough since it's that muscle that's constantly working. But it's so tender. And I don't know if it's because of the cooking process or...
I think a lot of it is the way that
way
he
it's
is cutting
cut.
it. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And also it's marinated right now. Usually the bulgogi marinade has big Asian pears. Have you seen the big ones? They're
Yes, I put that in my marinade.
yeah. That stuff works great for like tenderizing
It's
stuff.
amazing. It's super easy. I love it.
You have to give me all the names of the restaurants in like LA and New York that are good.
I've got you.
Yeah. How do they compare it to Seoul?
Totally different.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, even the lettuce tastes different here. It's just everything just has a different taste. And as well as the seasonings, the gochujang.
But there's good lettuce there.
No,
I have a
there
garden
is.
in my backyard. I'm growing lettuce.
Oh,
It's
you
so
are?
fun. Yeah, I just make salads for my backyard.
Oh, it's so nice.
It's really cool.
Yeah, there's something very rewarding in growing your own food.
It is pretty
And
amazing.
eating it, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have much of a green thumb at all.
Ooh, I like it when it's all charred.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
blackened.
That's the best part.
이건 좀 먹지 말고요.
You
샀으니까.
said don't eat it.
I want to.
Oh my God, that's like filet mignon of pork. Oh my God, it's so tender.
Like the top restaurants in Korea, yes, it's all about the sauce.
It's the barbecue-y flavor. If you put it in salt, it's really good.
What,
too.
this?
You're loving this stuff.
I don't know. That's my favorite one so
너무
far.
맛있어요.
Oh, good.
Yeah. To the best pork and Seoul.
Best
Kobe.
pork and Seoul. Cheers.
Thank you. One final note. Speaking of pork and booze, each time I fly into Seoul, I make it a habit of meeting my cousin, Kunwan, at Seimao Shikdang restaurant for barbecued pork, a bowl of kimchi jjigae, and a bottle of soju, or 3.
여기. Okay. Garlic, manu.
It's my kind of place. You drink, you eat, you drink, you eat, and you drink and eat some more.
So good. Oh my God.
As they say in Korea, which roughly translates to Go Korea!